Hello everybody, so in today's video I'm going to take these peppers that I found on sale and we are going to can some roasted red peppers. So that's what we're doing in today's video. So I started off the process by rinsing my red peppers. I just wanted to give them a really good wash before I started the canning process. While I'm washing them, I'm also inspecting them for defects like bruising or any bad spots that might be on them, just so I can cut them off later when I'm cutting them apart. Once I was done washing them, I just started to take the cores out and the stem. When I cut these into fairly small pieces with the idea that they were going to be usable pieces for me. I would suggest and recommend cutting these into bigger pieces. I do think that when it comes time to take the skins off, it would be a lot more easy to peel the skins off of a bigger piece of pepper rather than something a little smaller. So keep that in mind. In this video I do cut them quite small, and later on I do have trouble actually removing the skins, and you'll see that in this video. I find the easiest way to de-seed the pepper is to cut it right along the top and let the center fall out and then just scoop out the inside. You can also cut down one side and then fillet the entire pepper and just take the inside and throw it out. But I do find this is the most effective way. When you put your peppers on the pan to roast, make sure it's the skin side up. That's the side you want all the color on, and that's the side we're going to roast and then try to peel off later. So I just keep repeating this process until all the peppers are chopped up. Now I'm just going to take some cooking spray, I'm pretty sure this one is canola oil, and I'm just going to lightly spray the skins of the peppers just to help them brown up and get some blackening on them. You want them to be fairly charcoaled. It gives it the really nice roasted taste. Now you want to pop them in the oven and roast them. I roasted mine at 400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. While I was waiting for the peppers to roast, I started to get my canner ready. So this is my electric canner, and I'm just filling the water to that line that I just finished showing you in the video. It has to be at least to that line for pressure cooking. Peppers are a low acid food and they need to be pressure canned. I'm also adding a couple splashes of vinegar. This helps so the water sediment doesn't get all over the jars and the lids. So once the peppers got a nice black color on them, I took out a bag and I put the peppers into the bag. This is supposed to help the skins come off sooner. You do it right after they come out of the oven, and it's supposed to soften the skins and make them easier to peel. I actually had trouble peeling mine, but I think if they were bigger pieces, this would have worked a lot better. Once you get them all in the bag, you want to twist it, leaving air in the bag. This is supposed to help create steam and help the peels come off. At this point, I let the peels sit in the bag for probably about 15 minutes. And now I'm going to attempt, I use the word attempt loosely, to peel the peppers. I actually came into quite a bit of problem, mainly, like I said before in the video, because the peppers were cut really small. And so I had a really hard time trying to remove the skins from the peppers. So definitely make sure your pepper sections are cut bigger. After several attempts for me to get the peels off of my peppers, I was very unsuccessful. And I decided ultimately to can them with the peels on. What I'm going to be using this for are like sauces and stuff like that. So I figured most of it's probably going to get pureed anyways. So for me, this is an ideal situation. But if you want it where the peels are off, I suggest cutting them in bigger chunks to get the peels off easier. Before I jar the peppers, I take some kosher salt and put about 1/8 of a teaspoon in each jar. This is literally just for flavoring. Do not use iodized salt when you're canning. Use kosher salt. Iodized salt will turn your products brown. So if you want to keep the color and have them look nice, use kosher salt. Now I just start filling the jars with the peppers. I try to pack them in there pretty tightly, and you want to make sure that you leave about 1 inch of headspace at the top of each jar. I end up just repeating this process until all of the jars are filled. I think I only get about 9 jars out of this, not 12. Now you want to take really hot water, possibly even boiling water, and you want to fill each jar right up to the 1 inch headspace line. You don't want to go past that. Then just repeat that until all the jars are filled. Now take a chopstick and put it down the edge of each jar, getting rid of all of the air bubbles in each jar. You're going to notice that the water level is going to decrease when you do this. That's because you're releasing the air that's trapped within the middle of the peppers. I do not recommend that you use a knife or anything sharp because it can leave micro fractures in the jar and the jars can break in the canner. So use something that has a soft tip. I find a chopstick is perfect for this. Once you're done debubbling all of the jars with the chopstick, you're going to go back and refill the water to 1 inch headspace for each jar. Now take a damp cloth and pour some vinegar on the cloth, and we're going to wipe the rims of all the jars to make sure there's no residue and to check for chips in the jars. I recommend checking for chips in the jars before you fill them, but doing it while, like secondary, while you wipe the rims is also a good habit to get into. Now take a canning lid and a ring and you're going to put it on each jar. Use a fresh, brand new canning lid. Do not reuse your canning lids when you're canning. I know lots of people do, but by general rule, do not reuse your canning lids. When you're screwing on the rings, to do them hand tight. Don't over tighten the lids, as it'll make the jars break in the canner. Now I'm just setting my pressure canner to 35 minutes. You want 35 minutes for pressure canning red peppers. So I'm just going to let the process here and let my canner heat up. As it's heating up, I'm going to put the jars in so that they warm up with the canner at the same time. Then I'm just going to seal up my canner here and get ready to put the pressure gauge on. So this is the final product and what they look like when they came out of the canner. They aren't all fully sealed yet, but they sealed pretty quickly after I took them out. So that's all for the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.